Well, all right, let's get started. Like I say, I don't want to keep the people that are punctual from your busy schedule today. Thanks for coming. I'm excited to be here. I am Judd Griggs. I am one of the harvest group, one of the head harvesters, and we are consultants for the green industry primarily, business consultants in the landscape industry. I personally work with a lot of design build and residential maintenance contractors and trying to help them become better business people and make more money, which is not a bad thing. So today, like I say, I'm happy to be here. I've been to all four of the Sync conferences. Every year it's gotten better and better. Attendance has gone up. Looking at the trade show, there's more booths than ever before. So it really is a great event to be at. The whole idea of combining design, build, and maintain is perfectly up my alley, and I'm glad Angelique and her team is addressing that, and they've just done a great job of putting this program together. Today, we're going to talk about planning for risk in your business and how to avoid catastrophic losses. Sounds pretty imposing. And I mean, it's a serious topic, very serious, but we're going to try to have some fun along the way as well. We don't want to be all doom and gloom, but if you don't plan for risk, you can and will sustain catastrophic losses. Not where you want to be. Harvest Group has some great partners, one of which is BOSS business management software for the industry. Whether you're a maintenance contractor, a construction contractor, snow contractor, and yes, even here in Atlanta we had snow. Do you do snow? No.
We're not equipped.
No, I thought you'd go out and buy some bags of ice melt, and yeah, we don't have to deal with it, but we had a couple inches of snow here in Atlanta. But BOSS is a great partner. Another great partner is Team Engine. That is HR software for the green industry, and we've been good partners for quite some time. I am excited for the fact that we've got one of the best parts of Team Engine is here, Dara Dolinsky. She is a good friend of mine, and I'm really happy she's here at the same time. Dara is head of partnerships at Team Engine. It's a software that helps landscaping companies recruit, retain, engage, and improve their field workforce. You know, as you'll learn in our presentation today, Team Engine helps businesses mitigate risks through effective communication with their field staff. And I'm going to invite Dara up a little bit later, go over a couple things that Team Engine really does well. So, today's purpose: reduce risk to prevent you from experiencing catastrophic losses in your business in seemingly everyday work. And that's the big deal. It is everyday work, and we work in a dangerous industry. We don't always perceive it as dangerous, but you're working around heavy equipment, you're working around in all elements: cold, hot, rainy, slippery. And there can be some real issues and real bad accidents when it comes to working in the green industry. So today I've got some good news for you, and I've got some not so good news. So let's start with the bad news first, get that out of the way. Green industry is still a dangerous place to do business. And despite our best efforts to improve, danger still lurks around the corner. It sounds like a movie. Danger lurks around the corner. But it's true. Like I said before, there's a lot of dangerous things that can happen when it comes to, come on in. How are you today? So you didn't miss much. We're just talking about danger lurking around every corner. So now some good news. Without spending a whole lot of money, a lot of effort, you can prepare for the worst. And this next part is the key: be proactive in planning for risk in your business. You need to be proactive. I've got some real life examples that we'll go through. If you're not proactive, you'll see what happens. But so be proactive, and we can prevent a lot of these problems from happening. So I've got 3 real life examples that will save you money, save you time, and save lives. Yeah, that's right, save lives. How many of you have heard in the industry, either in your area or reading in trade manuals or publications, about somebody getting injured or even killed in a landscape accident? Yeah. Now, you hear that too often. It's horrible. So if time allows, I'm going to share some other important risk reduction ideas. And you'll be glad I did. One is what to do when you sink in quicksand. You always worried about that? You see that in the movies. Somebody's walking along in the jungle and in the woods, and they hit a patch, and all of a sudden they start sinking in quicksand. What do you do if you get stuck in quicksand? How about what do you do when you're attacked by an alligator? I'm sure you've all had bad dreams about that and worried about that. This is one I have worried about in the past. What do you do when the pilot of your airplane passes out, has a heart attack, whatever? And this is a smaller airplane, of course. They don't have co-pilots. Would I be able to land that plane? What would I do? So, you can see if time allows, we'll go through a couple of those. All right, the first real life example is a letter from OSHA. We all know OSHA. Those 4 letters can make you tremble in your boots. So an OSHA rep was driving by one of our clients, this is, like I say, a real life example, and saw some anomalies that he wanted to check out. So he pulls in and he checks out the construction site, the job site, and you get a few days later a letter from OSHA. 4 violations, just like that. Violation 1, Code of Safe Practices was not posted. Now this is going to be a larger construction site, of course, but you need to post the Code of Safe Practices. If anybody knows what that is, please tell me. I think OSHA kind of hides that. So $420 was the penalty. Violation 2, the job site did not have enough suitably trained persons to tender first aid. And the OSHA rep got that by just asking a few people, have you been trained on first aid? What would you do if this happened? If somebody falls and gets injured? Another penalty of $420. Again, this OSHA rep was working his way around and found the job site did not have a fully stocked OSHA-approved first aid kit. Now, some of you may have your crews with a first aid kit, but it has to be an OSHA-approved first aid kit. Another $420. But look at this one. An employee working in a location where the risk of head injuries was not wearing approved head protection, meaning a hard hat, an OSHA-approved hard hat. Look at the penalty, $5,060. And well, we don't do that in the landscape industry. Well, you do if you're working, if you have tree removal people, if you're working on a construction site where something may fall off a building, you've got you've got large trees that you're transporting across the site, $5,060. So all of a sudden you're in the hole over $7,500. So what do you do to prevent that? Again, let's be proactive on preventing risk. Continually train employees on safety. That's a given. You should have regular safety meetings that you hold and where you train safety. How many of you have a safety meeting every month? Every week? Awesome. You guys are definitely proactive. Yeah, weekly sales meetings are perfect. Ask your workers' comp vendor to be more proactive in teaching OSHA requirements. Your insurance agency, your insurance rep, your workers' comp vendor, they should be able to provide that for you. I've used them in the past, and they are very good about giving you extra training, teaching the OSHA requirements, and they're going to save you a bunch of that $7,500. We're going to hit on this one a couple times. Hold employees accountable for safety on the site. You know, if you've got incentive programs for your crews to, if they get the job done faster, if they get the job, if the quality scores are high, that's great. But what if they end up with safety issues on the site? What if they're got into accidents? They've got injuries on site. How do you hold them accountable so that at the end of this year, you're not paying for these high OSHA fines, or you're not paying for high mod rates? So hold them accountable, and that could be, you know, if you wanted a pay increase this year, look at your safety record from last year. It cost the company a lot of money. I don't have the money to pay you for an increase in your salary. All right, so we talked about workers' comp. Look at this sticker shock. What I mean by that is, how would you like to receive a workers' comp policy renewal that jumped from $14,700 to $28,000 a month? Not a year, a month. It's crazy. Crazy. That was due to the fact that they had a high number of accidents and near misses during the course of the year. What's a near miss? No guesses? Near miss is when you like the morning zoo, as I call it. Your crews are coming in the morning, they're loading, they're unloading, they're going out for the day, and you see people driving crazy, get out on time, backing up without a spotter, and the near misses are where I almost hit that truck, or I almost hit that person running in front of me. It's all these almost things that happen. They're called near misses. And you should be documenting near misses in your safety reports. But the more, it's been proven, the more near misses you have, the higher chance you're going to have a bad accident. So minimize the near misses. But you do the math now. Multiply 28,000 by 12 months, that's $336,000 now in your annual budget that you have to make up. You know, how much in the way of sales are you going to need to do to cover that, to just be even on your profit level? Just to stay even. So what are some solutions, some proactive solutions for this? Require each department manager to conduct safety audits. Safety audits are when you go out to an active job site, whether it's maintenance, construction, whatever, and you first observe the crew. How are they working? You know, are they working safe? Do they have hard hats on? Do they have safety vests on? Are they wearing their PPE, ear protection, eye protection? So all of this should be noted and written down. And if they have, you know, like rakes laying on the ground with the tines up, I mean, all of that should be in your safety audit. And these safety audits need to be like surprise audits. You know, I'm just stopping by just to see how you guys are doing. It shouldn't be planned, because then the crew is going to be a little more cognizant of safe practices. But conduct safety audits, and each manager should be doing that. And it can be random, it can be a couple times a week, a couple times a month, but make sure they're done and documented. Promote a bilingual foreman to become a full-time safety coordinator. This works out really well. I'm sure you each have foremen that are getting up in the ages, maybe as they get into their 40s, 50s. They're still great employees. You know, they've got the history with the company, but what happens is their body breaks down. And you want to find a spot for them. This is a great spot. If they're bilingual, and they become your safety coordinator. And they're the ones that set up safety meetings, help set up the safety training. Great position for them. Dara now is going to tell us what Team Engine can do as an option.
Yeah, if you don't have a bilingual employee that you could move to a safety coordinator, a really good substitute now is technology. So technology can help you translate safety documents that you have, messages that need to go out, and everything else, especially now with AI, whereas it used to be translators could only translate word for word, not always pick up the context of the conversation. And with AI involved, that has gotten a lot better. So you don't have to just be dependent on one employee, but you and a few others can help take that load off and still communicate with everybody. A few different options to do that is using ChatGPT, Google Translate, and then of course Team Engine as well.
We just got, we have that issue as well with the communication and breakdown in communication because of that barrier. They make earbuds that translate.
Oh, wow.
So we ordered 5 pairs and we're going to see how they work. But they have really good ratings.
Wow.
Yeah. So like as you're talking, so you don't have to then take time to translate. Yeah.
Now, I've done translate on my phone, but not with the earbuds.
What's the brand called so everybody could?
I don't know. Yeah, I put in Amazon, translating earbuds, and it does like up to 120 languages.
Wow, that's really cool.
Yeah, it's amazing. And I picked the one that had the highest rating. So.
Does it connect to your phone or is it free standing?
I have no idea. They're actually setting it up while I'm gone. So yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. I thought it was a pretty genius.
Be good for travel too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
So earbuds that translate. That's amazing. Great technology. Thank you. We talked about this before, establish a safety committee. The safety committee should be people from not just the construction side of your business, but should be maintenance, should be sales reps, should be office reps. Why would somebody from the office be part of our sales meeting or safety meeting? They see the invoices that come through for damaged mailboxes, damage to the truck, the OSHA or the workers' comp bills that come through. The office sees everything. So they should be part of the safety committee. And the safety committee is the one that sets up training programs. And they're the ones that would be looking at if you do have an accident or look at the number of near misses you have. The safety committee should be doing an audit of those accidents. They should be looking at what caused the accident, who was involved, what was the outcome of the accident. So by having that information, that's where you can hold employees accountable, and that's where your training sessions start to come from. So you have the safety committee, look at the accident, give recommendations of how you could have prevented it and what you can do in the future. So the safety committee is a real important part of the business. And so each one of those meetings, you should have somebody that takes notes, that goes into your safety manual, and keep track of everything that happens at that safety committee. Another one, mandate all foremen and field supervisors attain their 10-hour OSHA safety certification. How many of you do that? How long does that take to go through?
All of our employees have 10 hours.
Great. Yeah, they really should. I mean, again, it's proactive. And the other thing you're going to find is if you do have an incident or if OSHA comes out to your job site, and they find out that you've got a safety program, you've got a safety manual, they've taken the 10 hours OSHA safety training, things are going to go a whole lot easier for you when it comes to fines, and they may even look the other way and not give you a fine. Because if you've got a good safety committee set up and safety program set up for the company, it's going to go a long way to make things easier down the road. Add safety as another rating on every field employee's annual performance evaluation. One that we use or suggest is something called a GROW card. And I'm sure you do your evaluations of people. And I've got a couple examples I'll hand out, but because I'm sure you can't read that up there or back there. But basically what you're doing is there's several headings that you, like this one has managerial skills, technical skills, success behaviors. This is what you do to rate your field employees and your supervisors. See, make sure that they're doing a good job, and that's how you come up with increases at the end of the year, or no increases. Let me hand. You take a look at that and pass it around, and if you want a copy of that, what you can do is you can email me and let me know. But it's a great system. So you see this first one here: safety, vehicle damage, property damage, medical incident. Those are all the things that, if you've got 3 instances in a year, that's unacceptable. That's something that you don't want that employee around. They're a danger to you. If you have 1 to 3, that's below expectations. Should be 0, would be at least meeting expectations. What you really want is no vehicle accidents, no injuries, no lost time injuries. Definitely make sure that you're running and being as safe practices as possible. Another one would be have a different foreman lead your weekly tailgate safety talks. That's a real good thing to do, because what you do is you start setting up your foreman to become leaders, or somebody, maybe it's assistant foreman, become a leader in your company. And I tell you, most guys in the field don't like to stand up and talk in front of people. They're nervous about that. And so by having them lead a safety meeting, it's a great way to do that. There's things like now NALP has like 50 tailgate safety talks, and they're in both English and Spanish. That makes it pretty easy. The foreman just has to read this. Team Engine, again, has a great option to this.
I could just stand near the mic. But yeah, things like wearing eye protection, gloves, all common sense to us. We've been in the industry, but you might have employees who are new, some that maybe didn't all follow the rules all of the time, and so they need reminders. And I saw you all mention that you do safety meetings probably around once a week. But also think about if you do snow removal, people that are coming in at different times and different shifts that may not be hearing those meetings. And so we typically recommend that there is some sort of safety message that is sent out on a daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly basis. We actually had a customer who during COVID was sending out a text every single morning with the same protocols about what you need to be doing when entering the building. So there's no excuses for any employee about they didn't know what they need to do. And so there's a lot of different mediums. You can send text to your employees, you can email them, you can send out newsletters, but text messages are typically what we have seen be the easiest. 98% of text messages are opened. hopefully that means they are read as well, but they are at least open. And then one of the tools that can do this automatically is Team Engine. So you don't have to think about it. Those messages are set up and they're consistently going out to everybody.
And talking a little bit about dinging people for bad safety records. You know, maybe they don't get the big price or big salary increase every year because of their safety record. Look at roll out a safety rewards program. I'd much rather reward somebody for safe practices. Zero accidents, zero lost time injuries for the year. It should be a safety recognition. That could be it could be as simple as a plaque, could be a gift card to Publix or grocery store, Starbucks. Everybody loves Starbucks, of course. But make it a safety reward program. And this should be, if you have like a year-end meeting or a meeting to kick off the year, really recognize the people that have been safe. You know, that's what you really want to do. Make sure that they are recognized for their efforts, and the other people in the company go, boy, I want to be part of that as well. And if your whole company is safe, use safety rewards that you can get through NALP and other organizations. So it's a list of 7 different things, plus what Team Engine can do for you. See what's going to work best in your business. It doesn't have to be just one. All right, this one's a big one. Call it 1 second. It's the worst possible event that can happen in your company. Fatality, of course. So I'm going to tell you about what happened with one company. And it involved a crew driving to their job site and a cell phone. So the crew is in the cab, heading out for the day. They get up to the stoplight, and they want to turn left. So they were sitting at the stoplight, and all of a sudden the light turns green. And so as the driver starts to head to make his left turn, he looks down at his cell phone for 1 second. Just 1 second. And they documented that by they had in-cab cameras, which some of you are using now. It was truly 1 second. He looked down just to see who was texting him, and at the same time he was turning to go left, went into and hit a pedestrian. Not only hit a pedestrian, he ran over the pedestrian and killed him instantly. Let that sink in for a minute. 1 second. So if anything you could do to make sure that cell phones are put in your pocket, or if somebody really needs you badly, have somebody that's riding in the truck, not the driver, looking at that text. I mean, that's just horrible. Aftermath was intense, of course. Police investigation, like everywhere else, there's potential lawsuits, sometimes before the accident, even anybody knows about it. You've got attorneys that are hovering the site, wanting to make their money. It's counseling for the driver. How about dealing with a grieving family? How would you like to tell the family and you're so sorry for their loss? Dealing with the media. Media loves stories like that. They love bad news stories. And I don't want the logo on my truck to be on the 6 o'clock news or the 11 o'clock news tonight talking about a fatality, talking about what happened with one of my trucks. Dealing with investigators. There's going to be a lot of investigators, whether insurance investigators, police investigators, attorneys, you name it. So my recommendations here, pretty simple. Identify a point person. That's probably your most important thing to do. Identify a point person that's going to be the person that all information runs through and all communication. If you don't have an attorney for your company, find a legal counsel immediately. Because like I say, the person that got hit, their family, they're going to be looking at issues, and they'll have attorneys lined up. Hold an all-hands employee meeting. That's super important, that get everybody together as quickly as possible to let them know what happened exactly, why it happened, how we prevent it, and get rid of all the rumors that are out there. You know, did you hear Jimmy was speeding went through a red light and hit somebody? No, it wasn't anything like that. Find out what exactly happened, what's the truth, and let everybody know so everybody's on the same page. And you'll want to put that employee on administrative leave. You know, that's somebody that is devastated, I'm sure, not going to be real good for you out in the field again, so put them on administrative leave for now. But despite all your efforts to do the right thing, the bottom line is we lost a human life. Just got to reflect on that for a little bit. Pretty sad. So what we talked about is reducing risk to prevent you from experiencing catastrophic losses. Catastrophic loss is a fatality. Horrible. So it's incredibly busy, incredibly important in your business. I think you all recognize that. And so take some of these steps we've talked about in being proactive to mitigating risk. So now one of the more important things is so we can end on a little bit higher note, a little happier note than a fatality. So what do you do when you're attacked by an alligator? Well, how would I know that? You know, I worked in Florida for about 11 years down in the Naples area, and there's a lot of alligators down there. And their golf course communities always have ponds, and you always see gators in ponds, or along golf courses you'll see gators. Some of them are like 3 and 4 feet long, some are 8 and 10 feet long. And I tell you, they can run really fast in a short period of time. Now, how do you find out what do you do when you're attacked by an alligator? I just happen to have this very excellent book called The Worst Case Scenario Survival Handbook. Everybody, all of you should have this. I found this at a secondhand store, bookstore. So what do you want to do? They recommend, first thing is hug it. You want to hug an alligator. See, if the alligator gets you in its jaws, you must prevent it from shaking or rolling over. That's what they do to kill their prey. And struggle. You know, what you want to do, obviously struggle. I don't think any of you are going to just lay there and let the alligator attack you. And they talk about hitting the snout, the long snout of an alligator. Hit the snout. And then go for the eyes and nose. Alligators don't like being poked in the eyes and hit in the nose. Above all, keep fighting. And I don't know why they even have to put this in here. Seek medical attention immediately. That's probably a really good thing to do. But you kind of laugh about this, but there were so many stories I heard down there when I was working down there. Somebody's walking their little poodle alongside one of these ponds, and all of a sudden this alligator comes up out of nowhere, grabs the poodle and takes it away. And people have died because they try to save their little poodle from the alligator because they jump in the pond after the alligator and they didn't have this handbook. There's other really good things in here, like what to do if you're attacked by pirates. That's a good one. I'm sure you've all worried about that in the past. And so take a look at this book. It's great. Speaking of books, I've got a couple great Harvest Way books. So for the 2 best questions now, questions or suggestions for your company that's worked well for you, or questions you have on what we talked about. You guys came in late, so you missed all the good stuff.
Yeah, what happened?
No questions? No great ideas? Yes?
Yeah, what do you do when the pilot passes out?
If the plane has only one set of controls, push, pull, carry, or drag the pilot out of the pilot seat. Number 1. So you can sit in the pilot seat. Take your place at the controls. Put on the radio headset. Use the radio to call for help. So it'd be like a CB type microphone, and you go, Mayday, 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 and give your situation. If you get no response, try again on the emergency channel. Then get your bearings and identify the instruments. So you got to look at the instruments and say, okay, you have to look at the altimeter, how high are you, which way you headed, and then begin the descent. Extend the landing gear. I don't know how you know all this unless you've ridden a plane before, or you've seen somebody try to do that. Look for suitable landing sites. Well, you've seen people land on highways and open fields. Line up the landing strip so the altimeter reads 1,000 feet and the field is off right wing tip. Reduce power. Plane should be 100 feet off the ground when you're just above the landing strip, and the rear wheels should touch first. Using the pedals on the floor, steer and brake the plane as needed. Sounds like I could never do that. Sounds way too difficult. Yes.
Does Team Engine have like training? Can you upload training to Team Engine?
You can send files to employees, training manuals or videos or anything like that.
But it doesn't house
keep a file, but it doesn't house them.
Okay.
Yeah, I highly recommend you check out Team Engine. They do a wonderful job. I mean, how many of you have all the crew people that you need for your upcoming year? You don't really need anybody else right now, right? Full crews? No. I don't think any of my clients anywhere in the country would tell me that. I take that back. There's one that said that crew level people he's having no problem getting, but it's the supervisors that he can't find. But I think you're finding the same thing. Everybody needs crew level employees. And Team Engine will help you coordinate all the Indeed ads that you put out. What other one? You can communicate all the like monster ads and all of that together.
Yeah, it's diversified sources, so all of the job boards, employee referrals, social media ads, even doing radio ads and career fairs, having a place to apply.
Yeah. So it's a great way to coordinate all your efforts to find good people. Other questions? On your table, I put a rating card. If you can fill it out, let me know your thoughts on the talk. You know, it's not real exciting. It's not as sexy as the new design techniques. It's not as sexy as new plant materials that are coming out. But I tell you, it's super important. I mean, it's so important to your business and your employees' welfare. I always said I want anybody that comes to work go home in the same condition. All their limbs together, nobody injured, nobody hurt. I want them to go back home the same way they came. Although there's some employees, the way they came in the morning, I don't know if I'd want them still when they go home, but it's a different story. So fill this out if you can. I've got my card on there. If you need more information on Harvest Group, just shoot me an email. I'll be happy to help you out. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your time here in Atlanta at Synced Live. Great place to be. So thank you, Dara. I appreciate your help. You all have a great rest of your time here, and we'll hope to see you again.